I'm confident that as we get everyone back in the lineup, we'll start rolling here in mid-season, and then when we get to championship season, we're real excited about the possibilities. I think there's some good, there's some bad from the first few matches, and to be honest, I don't like calling my athletes out or players out by any means. Earl Hall, I love Earl Hall. He's one of my favorite kids. He's one of my favorite guys. But I'm a little frustrated with his effort in matches this season. He's supposed to be our leader. He's on our poster. We have higher expectations for him. He has higher expectations for himself. And when I have to tell a senior to keep up with the freshman, that's a little bit disappointing because he's capable. And this weekend's going to be a great opportunity to really see where he's at mentally. Because physically, he's got all the tools, he's got all the talent. And I had a couple freshmen that scored more points than some of our upperclassmen, and he wasn't the only one. But my freshmen, I really like what I see out of DeBlasi and Straw going to Vegas and competing with their heart. In DeBlasi, I think he's got 7, 8, 9 pins on the season, so he's competing. Straw, probably not the most talented kid on our team, but as a freshman, he's going out there and going to war, and he's battling. And for me to see him do that and see one of our upperclassmen or a couple of our upperclassmen not battle like that it's frustrating. It's a little frustrating. But 4 matches in, 5 matches in, we got some time to see if that's going to change. And so Saturday's going to be a great opportunity for us to find out who's got heart and who's got soul and who's going to compete the way they're capable of competing to give themselves the best chance to win. So I think it should be a fun match for all of us. I think we have some decent matchups up and down the lineup. They have 3 NCAA qualifiers, so it's or NCAA finalists. So there's going to be some tough matchups throughout that duel. But it is still an Iowa State duel, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be intense. And so we expect our guys to step up, to learn from some of the position situations, toughness that we've talked about on several occasions, and we expect them to compete at a high level. So we're looking forward to it, I expect our leaders to lead, and I expect our upperclassmen to come to compete the way they're capable of competing, and I expect our freshmen that we have in the lineup to continue to do what they've done, and that's to fight as hard as they possibly can, because we can live with that, we can work with that, and we can move forward from that. But we have some guys that need to step up and compete the way they're capable of competing.
Yeah, like you said, Earl needs to connect mentally a little bit. Carver's obviously probably one of the hardest places to wrestle in America. What are you going to be looking for him, and how are you going to try to motivate him to make sure he connects mentally?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Right now, what's going to motivate him mentally. I think we've tried a ton of different things, and I don't. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. But there's a couple of thoughts that we have as a staff that might maybe a little reverse psychology to try to get him to be who he really is. But the bottom line with him is a lot of people worked real hard for him to have an opportunity to get this waiver, and it doesn't seem like or feel like that he's thinking the same way as he did once he got the waiver. As this is I got a second opportunity to accomplish what I didn't accomplish when I thought my eligibility was over, and so that's confusing a little bit to me. And like I said, I love Earl. He's one of my favorite kids. He watches my children. And so he's a family member. But I talk to him like I talk to my son, and that's we expect, and you expect more out of yourself, and as someone that's on the front of our poster and identified as a leader, we expect you to perform at least as hard as our freshmen are competing, and that hasn't happened. And so we expect that to happen. Obviously, championship season is where we expect to perform, but you expect to see some consistency. And what's frustrating to me is there's some consistency that we're not seeing. And so he's got a chance this weekend to show some consistency as far as how good he is, and then he'll have a chance in Midlands to show that again, and then we have some really big matches in Hilton, the rest of the season. So there's still a lot of season left, but we've clearly discussed with him and a couple other upperclassmen what our expectations are, and he knows that. He's not going to be surprised by anything I say. I mean, he's heard it before, but we do expect him to be the Earl Hall that we know and love, and I think we've seen him at his best, and we haven't seen that lately, and so I think that could go a long way. If Earl wrestles to a seed, I mean, that's a much better team performance than we had in Vegas, and so we expect him to do those things. But it's not him. It's a couple of upperclassmen that we have to have compete like our freshmen are competing, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, along those same lines, last year at the Cyhawk meet, they brought the fight to you guys. They out hand fought you. They controlled tie-ups, all that. Going there, how do you make sure that your guys are bringing the fight to them?
Well, it's the same mentality. I mean, the deal is you can't let a guy control your collar. You can't let a guy push on you, underhook you, bring the fight to you. You have to get in that fight, and you have to stay in that fight for 7 minutes. And so that's really the thought process behind it. There's technical skills for sure that we work on, that we work on every day, that we'll continue to work on throughout the week. But the bottom line is, where are you at from a mental standpoint as far as are you going to battle, go to war for 7 minutes? If you're not going to do that, then you'll see a dominating style out of them. If you don't, if you do see that, you'll see a great match. You'll see two competitors that will compete for 7 minutes, and the best man's going to win that match. But if you don't step to that challenge, it's going to be a disappointing performance. And so, like I said, I mean, I see freshmen. I see our freshmen on a daily basis in every competition, really doing those things. And so it really is going to come down to our guys that's been with us for a few years going to accept that same challenge and battle the way they're capable of battling, because you expect all the training that they put in from the summer to now to really show, and that hasn't shown for a couple of our guys.
Yeah, Pat Downey is obviously one of your biggest competitors on the team. He's going to go out there and fight every single match. Is there a weight that you'd like to start at?
Well, I think, I really think, he is a competitor. There's one thing about Pat: he's going to go out there and he's going to battle. I would never mind starting on his weight class, because I think whether he wins or whether he loses, that he's going to go out there and he's going to put out the fight. So, I like him. I like a couple other guys that could step right in and possibly, get a win right off the top. But in any weight class that we feel like we could possibly start the match off with a win, and that's really what we want to do. And like I said, our freshmen have been doing well. Marcus Simmons is, he had a strong tournament. We had to pull him for precautionary reasons for this weekend. But I really do like to start at 25 and into heavyweight. I'm a traditionalist myself, but I have to make sure that we do it when we make those decisions, that we're making the right decisions based on weight control and based on how guys feel and those type of things. And so I trust a lot of our guys to go out there and compete like we're supposed to compete, to get us started in the right way. So, definitely, I love to see Pat start to duel out. At the same time, the draw is the draw.
Yeah, Marcus gave Joey Dance everything he wanted at Cliff Keen. Obviously, he's going to be wrestling #1 Thomas Gilman now. What's he got to do to carry over what he did from Dance and improve on it and try to compete with Gilman?
Well, I think Marcus missed a couple of great opportunities against Dance. I mean, he was right in that match. Actually, we were in on 2 singles, and like with Virginia Tech, they're known to roll, and Marcus knew that he was going to roll, and so we had a single leg in a power position, and we got out scrambled twice. We didn't get scored on, but we missed the scoring opportunity. I think if he scores one of those takedowns, I think it's a different match, because Marcus is really, really, really tough on top. It's encouraging to see him compete with the top guys in the country. He beat a ranked guy from America, in his last match. He was right there with Joey Dance. Gilman's a different animal. Gilman's gonna come to compete in a little bit different way. More more pull on your head, snap, try to create angles, try to snap your front headlock, run down his scores as opposed to shooting under you with great technical skills offensively, really setting you and going to get you. He's more looking at counter offense. He's really strong with his counter offense. So if you take a weak shot or a bad shot, he'll run corner on you, run down high crouch or single, or he'll snap you into those same actions. So Marcus has to do a better job of controlling tie up, controlling position. In order to give himself the best chance to win. And also, you know, we're coming off that match. We pulled him for a reason. And so Carl Larson is also in the mix, and Kyle being a senior and wrestling Hillman on a couple of occasions, I think he gives us a great chance to compete well at that weight as well.
Yeah, Kanan Storr, another infantry freshman, is also listed as an OR at 141. Is there any thought of pulling his red shirt?
Well, you know, there's a thought of all hands on deck, obviously, but we think Kanan is. I think his future looks great the next 4 years. We'll see once we get down to Iowa City. You know, I like a little surprise every now and then. You know, I've done a couple things a little untraditional down there on a couple occasions, so you got to keep them guessing a little bit.
Yeah, Leland Weatherspoon also has a pretty tough matchup at 174. Had a tough match against Zahid Valencia at 15. What's he got to do to make the connections and compete in those tough matches?
I mean, I think you said it best. It's the connections. It's really having a thought process on how I'm going to win matches. Leland competes every single match. He competes at a high level, but I think sometimes he's not real clear on how am I going to go get a score? How am I going to get off the bottom? How am I going to dominate position? How am I going to attack to dominate this match? And so what we try to do is just kind of define those things pretty clear. He's had opportunity to wrestle this kid on at least one occasion, and so we know what we're going up against. And so I think Leland will compete like Leland Weatherspoon and do what he normally does, and that's battle for 7 minutes, and I think that's going to give him a great chance to win.
We'll take 2 more questions.
They obviously have some highly ranked guys